We are here at Roberts Plaza in Regina, Saskatchewan, 21 floors up in the air, here with our Director of Training and Services, Tom Hammond, who is also a fall protection specialist. We're here to talk about competent supervisor training. So Tom, if people are receiving training, why is it that so many people are still being hurt by falls?
Wow, great question. What's happening in the workplace out in Saskatchewan right now, we're still having people getting hurt, which you just mentioned, but so many supervisors send their staff off for training, and then incidents take place, people get hurt, and after the investigation is finished, a lot of the causes are being found as a lack of competent supervision. So if you have an employee, you send them out for training, and if you honestly think that getting a training certificate is enough, that's when people are mistaken. When people take a training course, they're only learning part of what they need to know, and part of what they need to know comes from experience. So they need to be working. So let's get them the training, which people are doing, but now we have to make sure that they're working under competent supervision. You know, somebody's actually paying attention and making sure that they're applying the knowledge that they learned in the training and using it correctly. So the supervision portion doesn't just disappear when somebody has a training ticket. You still have to actually do your job and make sure that those people are working safely.
Yeah, so like when everybody's been trained at the same level, it's hard to practice or advance your knowledge without anyone there with a supervisor level of knowledge.
Right. Somebody has to have an understanding to know when people are working safely, and sometimes more importantly, they need to know when somebody's doing something wrong. And if somebody's doing something incorrectly or wrong, you know, you need to be able to stop that and correct it and make sure they start, you know, doing it right. And a competent supervisor is going to have a little bit more training than the people out in the field. They don't necessarily have to have all the experience as somebody in the field. You know, maybe you've had somebody on the tools for 20 years working away and they understand it, but the supervisor needs to be able to recognize deficiencies and correct it, or when they're doing things right, and you know, sometimes, hey, a pat on the back isn't a bad thing, right?
So once someone completes competent supervisor training, what kind of recognizable skills will they have on site? Are you going to be able to rely on this person to make plans and perform checks?
Yes, a competent supervisor, once they complete it, part of the fall protection world is we have to create fall protection plans for our workforce. They'll be able to do that. They'll be able to do the calculations to make sure if somebody's in a fall arrest situation that they're not going to hit the ground. They'll be able to determine what we need for rescue planning, because rescue is very important. If somebody falls and they're hanging there, we have to do something about it. They'll be able to not only do that on the administration side, but they'll also be able to evaluate their own workers, make sure that, Rory, you're putting your harness on properly, or Rory, you're making your connection properly, and you're doing things right. They'll also have the skills and knowledge to inspect the equipment and make sure that the gear that you are required to use is in good working order and safe to use. So there's a lot of components to it, and the Competent Supervisor program is set up to do it step by step and give you the knowledge and the skills to learn that. And we can always follow up. If there's things that, you know, somebody needs to follow up on afterwards, they pick up the phone, they give us a call, and we talk about it, you know.
So once you have a competent supervisor on your crew, you have someone you can rely on to take the lead on these types of things.
Absolutely, it's a champion for you. You know, your competent supervisor is somebody you can go to and ask questions. And, hey, am I doing this right? Or what do we need to do to perform this task? You know, show me that I've put my harness on properly if I have to wear one. Am I using an aerial work platform? Am I using the proper connections and things like that? So that's exactly what they are. They become your go-to person or your fall protection champion in your facility.